I'm Dan Hedges with engineering.com, talking now with science educator Grand Hank.
Oh, yes, sir. Hi. Thanks, Dan, for having me.
I got some personal questions for you.
That's fine.
First, what are you passionately curious about?
I'm passionately curious about seeing someone who has never been exposed to science, who's not interested in science, become turned on and interested in science. That's what I'm curious about. I'm curious about what it takes to get a person from being disinterested to being overly interested and then taking steps to pursue the elements of science. That's what I'm curious about.
All right, the whole process.
The whole process.
What?
From step A to step B to step C, because people fall off at different levels of science. They don't, we may start out learning the fundamentals, but if we miss some things and we try to stack on it, it becomes increasingly difficult. The more you stack on, the more you don't know, the more disinterested you become. But if there are people who are out there like myself and others who can bridge that gap when it becomes difficult, when it becomes awkward, to say, hey, no, I went through that. You must push on. Most people don't realize when a drug, I come from the pharmaceutical industry. I worked for Johnson & Johnson for a number of years as a pharmaceutical chemist. So most people don't realize the process it takes from conceiving a drug to getting that drug to market, and how many failures that happen. Most chemists don't invent anything throughout their whole careers, but yet they do very well. Science, as we say, is a series of failures, but one success could trump all of those failures. Most people are not exposed to that understanding of it. So if we can expose them to that, things don't work all the time. Matter of fact, most of the time things don't work. But if we can get it to work once, then we know we can improve on it, we can work it, and eventually, boom, we have a cell phone that now communicates all over the world.
All right.
Quick example.
Yeah, and I got to ask a quick follow-up question, because you've mentioned a couple of times about teaching kids the basic fundamentals, and that if they don't learn the fundamentals, then it sounds like they feel like they're just not the math person, when actually all that's missing is just a little piece that you fix that, and maybe you are a math person.
Correct, because what happens is, one of the things that is important to science is the periodic table. So if people learn some of the elements, the most used elements, they'll feel more comfortable about it. Most people, we breathe air, but they don't know the components of it. So when somebody asks them something what are some of the components of air? I don't know, I just know we breathe it. I know there may be a little bit of oxygen in there, maybe a little nitrogen in there, but we really don't know what the components are. It's things like that that escape people. And when you try to stack on it, the fundamentals are not there. So that's what I'm hoping in my shows to be able to expose kids to, the little pieces that are not there.
All right. Okay, another personal question for you. What do you think is impossible science today that might be possible tomorrow?
Well, if I'm following the trend of the evening news, the impossible is getting to Mars. And the tomorrow, I'm sure the science is gonna come to get us there. They're gonna do it. They've decided they're gonna do it, and they're going to do it. But if I back out of that question and look at the impossible, I look at kids, underrepresented kids, inner city kids. It's impossible to become a scientist. That's in their mind. So I think, and this is why I've been doing this for more than almost 25 years, to move them from the impossibility of thinking of science as something that's out of reach for them. It's something we just don't do, to something that, hey, you know what, I can do this. And people are coming along. It's trending upward that more underrepresented and kids who are disadvantaged are moving into science, because there's a lot of programs now that are being developed to nurture them along the way that didn't exist a while ago. So that is my impossible that I think one day will be possible, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay,
It does.
all right.
So now, why all the effort at this festival, why do we need all this effort to reach out to the next generation and also their teachers?
Because, first of all, let's handle the teachers first. The teachers feel that they are not supported in trying to teach science. Most science teachers are enthusiastic. But when the resources fall off, when they don't have the resources, then they look at it differently. There are a lot of science teachers that I know, urban teachers and some suburban, use a lot of their own funding to teach science. So that right there in and of itself, when they come to a festival like this, they see the scale of it. When children, now let's talk about the children for a second. When a child walks through this door of this convention center, their minds are blown. When they see the scale of science, that you got science, you got technology, you got engineering, all these things are here, and these are things that have been done by using this area of STEM. All these things have been created. That right there in and of itself, and then you have all these stage shows where the best of the best are coming to show people what it is to be a scientist and what science is all about. This is the absolute gold standard for moving young kids towards science.
So one of the themes we've heard regarding diversity in STEM careers, and we have gender gap in STEM, we have ethnicity gap in STEM, other gaps. But one of the themes we've been hearing is the importance of seeing someone who's successful, who sort of resembles my own demographic. And what do you think about the need for that?
Well, it's an unbelievable need, because I'll share my story. I believe that I'm blessed by God. This is an exception to the rule. I went to the University of Pittsburgh to study chemistry. When I was going through the process of becoming a scientist, in other words, taking class A, B, C, D, all along that road, I was the only African American in the room. And it was very difficult. There were people who would not work with me because of how I looked. People just didn't feel comfortable with me. But when you turn the prism and you say, well, what does he think? How does he? And this is why they're not interested, because it's not an embracing field. Now it's becoming more embracive, and I love it. So that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, to improve the interest of people in science, to show them, yeah, you're going to go through things. You're going to work hard, but you can become successful if you continue to drive forward. And with science, you really don't know the end. If you're trying to invent something, you don't know when the end's going to come. Most people quit too soon. Just when it's starting to click, they give up. And I just continue to push through. So I try to show people our theme song, and we're going to present it at this conference, is anybody can be a scientist. And that's not just some people, it's anybody. If somebody's there to help and nurture you along, and we want to be that driving force.
Grant Hank, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You can find more informational videos here on engineering.com.